All right, everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our 50-yard line. We're back today. We have got our just after championship week here in college football. We're just about to do the rankings here as well. We've got Chris is in the truck. He is mobile today. Chris, welcome to you. Crazy weekend of football.
Yep. Good after it's now just past high noon on the East Coast of the United States.
Yep.
Championship week. It was a little nuts. Controversy and chaos could reign today, but which is why we have a special edition of 50-yard line on a Sunday. Because in just a few minutes we find out who will play for a national championship starting in 12 days.
That is correct. While we're waiting for that to come up, you want to run through your 12, and I can do my 12 as well.
I'll give you my 12. And again, this is how, as I've said every week, this is how I would vote if I was in the room.
Yep.
This is not a prediction of what the committee's going to do. Okay. Yep. My first two out, they didn't change. BYU and Miami. I reconsidered. I last night I had dropped BYU out, dropped them lower, but then I realized that violated my policy of I'm not going to drop a team that played under a team that didn't play. On championship week. So BYU and Miami are still my first two out in the playoff. I've got Notre Dame as my as number 10, ranked number 10.
Okay.
Got Alabama at number 9.
Ooh, okay.
Oklahoma number 8.
Yeah.
Ole Miss at 7. Alabama staying at 9. Again, that's the same with my policy.
Yeah.
Not dropping a team. I'm not going to have a team that played get jumped by a team that didn't.
Yeah.
On championship week. Okay. Yeah. So I got Oklahoma 8. I got Ole Miss at 7.
Yeah.
Oregon at 6.
Yep.
I got Texas A&M at 5, and I already know A&M's not going to be there because of what the committee did last week.
Yeah.
I've got Ohio State dropping to 4.
Ooh. Yep.
They lost. Texas Tech and Georgia both won. So I've got Tech at 3.
Yeah.
I've got Georgia at 2. And, of course, number 1. And I was on Indiana number 1 a lot sooner than anybody else.
That's it.
I was on Indiana number 1 the night they went to Eugene and beat Oregon.
Wow, that's right.
I've had the number 1 ever since.
29th of October, I had Indiana number 1.
And
good
the first, I was probably an early buyer on them.
Yep.
But I'm glad to see that everybody else is going to join the party today.
Yeah, that's it. You've got a seat right up the front of the bus. That's it. Good job.
It justifies my choice all the way back then when they beat Oregon, saying they are real. I am buying. Indiana's the best team in the country.
That's right. That's right. So
that's my. And then my 11 and 12 seeds.
Yeah.
I've got Tulane as the 11 seed. I've got James Madison as my 12 seed.
Yeah.
We're going to get 2 group of 5s in. I can feel it coming.
Yes. So my first 2 out is actually BYU and Miami as well. Alabama I've got as 10.
Okay.
Notre Dame is 9. I've got Oklahoma, ATM.
Okay. 8 and 7.
Texas A&M. Oregon I've got as number 6. Ole Miss. I think you've had them swapped around, but that's pretty much similar.
Yeah.
I didn't drop Ohio down maybe as far as I should have, but I've got Texas Tech, Georgia, Ohio, and Indiana.
Okay, so you put Ohio State at 2.
At 2. Losing to the now the number 1 team. So losing to the number 2 team. I've only dropped them 1 place. Maybe I should have. I don't know. maybe who
And,
knows what the committee's going to do as well. But and then
and
obviously
listen,
Tulane and James Madison is 11 and 12. So, but
yeah, and having Ohio State only fall to 2, that's actually what Heather Dinich had in her projection last night on
okay,
ESPN.com.
okay,
That was her projection. Ohio State at number 2, and perfectly believable. I can see it coming.
Yeah.
I would be perfectly okay with that because you lose to you're number 1, you lose to number 2, flip flop.
Yeah.
You can make the case that those
Yeah.
are the 2 best teams in the country.
Yes.
Absolutely, you can. I think 2, 3, and 4, the margins between those 3 teams are very thin.
Yeah, very, very, very thin. Yes. Yes.
The only difference between the 3, in all honesty, is that Georgia and Texas Tech are conference champions.
Yep.
Ohio State is not.
No, that's correct as well too. So, Georgia and Texas Tech,
and the committee will take conference championship into consideration.
Yes. And the other thing is, will the committee then punish Ole Miss for having no coach as well, no manager? So,
well, we got an idea of it on Tuesday.
Yeah,
that they weren't.
Yeah, well, that's good. I hope not. So
yeah, because I want to see this Ole Miss team. I want to see them get their shot. They've earned it on the field by going, they're what 10 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah, 10 and 2.
Yeah, 10.
My brain just faded for a second.
Yeah.
They went 10 and 2. They've earned this spot on the field.
Yes.
Okay. They've got all their players. The only difference is they don't have the head coach they had, and they don't have some of the staff that they had.
Yes.
But their players are going to be the same. And that is a good group of players they got in Oxford, Mississippi, and they've earned the shot.
Yes.
To play for a national championship.
Oh, Ole Miss is at 11 and 1.
Oh yeah, 11 and 1. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, like I said, my brain faded for a second. And that only loss was Georgia.
Yes.
To a conference champion.
That's right. To their conference. Yes. So, which turns out to be a fairly good loss as well. So,
it's that shouldn't penalize them too bad. Quite honestly, Ole Miss had that game. They should have won that game.
Yes. Wow.
And
that's it.
Had they won that game, they would have been playing yesterday for the SEC title, and maybe they would have the SEC title in their pocket.
No offense, but the way Alabama was playing, Ole Miss would have won that game.
Ole Miss very well. Listen, a lot of teams would have beaten Alabama the way that Alabama played yesterday.
They were very pedestrian. I just thought they just turned up to make numbers, and it's just like, what are you doing? They just didn't do anything. Didn't put anything together. The plays were pretty lackluster, and in the end, they just got smothered by Georgia. Absolutely and smacked.
And, considering Alabama, had beaten Georgia several weeks ago, had went to Athens and beaten Georgia.
Yes.
And now granted, though, in the second half of that game against Georgia, the first time, they were hanging on for grim life.
Yeah.
But, they had jumped out to that lead in Athens and won the game. But yesterday, Alabama almost I can't put my finger on it, but it was like they were just zombies.
They were just basically. There was nothing. There was nothing. I thought it was definitely going to be closer. I actually thought, and I think a few of us said, we actually thought Alabama was going to win that game hands down. The way they've kind of been playing the last couple of weeks, they're kind of putting it together at the end, and it's just there was just nothing there. I don't know what happened to Alabama on the day, but they just got outplayed and outclassed.
Well,
Georgia. So
it was almost like that Oklahoma game exposed them.
yeah, yes,
They started out with that hideous loss to Florida State.
yep,
Then they went on that really nice run. They had the 4 straight ranked wins in 4 weeks.
Yep.
And we thought they got to figure it out. Okay, first week was it was a week 1 thing.
Yep.
All right, which happens sometimes. You just come out, you're not quite ready for week 1.
Yeah,
and you get beat.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you get back in and you work and you get it all put together. And we thought they had, and then they play that Oklahoma game, and it was almost like Oklahoma exposed Alabama.
Yeah.
Or it was just such a shot to the confidence of Alabama that it's affected them since.
And it doesn't help.
They look bad against Auburn. They survived the game against Auburn.
Yep. And survived against
want to talk about
South
flags.
Carolina as well. So they almost lost that one.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a win. That was survival.
Yeah, that's right.
In the Iron Bowl.
So.
And I should have seen that as the red flag it was.
Yeah.
And that cost me some money yesterday. Because I did bet on Alabama.
Yeah,
I did bet Alabama to win.
I honestly thought Alabama was going to come away with the win. So
yeah.
So now Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami all have to kind of put up reasons why they should be in the playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting.
And we've had politicking all yesterday afternoon, late last night. We've had politicking this morning.
Yep.
Just trying to affect the humans that are in the room at the Gaylord Texan in suburban Dallas.
Yes. I mean, I gotta
those
love
people that matter.
Notre Dame putting out Georgia and Texas Tech logos in their colors, the blue and the gold. That was a nice little touch. They look very nice. Very visual. It's like, okay, we see you. But yeah, they're definitely fighting for their place in the playoffs. Again, Miami in the same position as they were last year. Just kind of on that outside cusp, looking in with maybe a good reason to be in the playoff, but who knows? I guess we'll find out in a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to. And listen, Miami last year, they got X'd out on a long walk-off field goal by Clemson.
Yeah.
In the ACC championship game.
Yep.
Because they wound up stealing that 12 seed on that walk-off field goal.
Yes. And Miami's holding that ace card about beating Notre Dame early in the season too. So I guess if it comes down to stats and everything else, I guess they're ahead of Notre Dame a little bit there too. So
and the comparison between Miami and Notre Dame, it is really close. Strength of schedule, strength of record, they've got the exact same record.
Yeah.
Notre Dame does, or Miami does have that tiebreaker on Notre Dame. Part of my judgment on having Notre Dame above Miami is just an eye test. I watch Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has been dominant in their games.
Yeah.
Even their game against USC, they were very impressive.
Yes.
Miami has been a little dicey. And when you lose kind of matters. It might be unfair, but a loss earlier in the season looks better than a loss late. A loss in early September looks better than a loss in late October into November.
Yes, where you should
because
be
if you're
playing your best football.
If you're winning through all the way through October and November, you're hot at the right time.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know,
Yep.
you're getting into the end of the season
Yep.
riding high. You look like a good team. If you're
Yes.
losing November games, and it might be it's a subconscious thing,
Yep.
but if you have a late season loss, oh my God, is this the start of a trend
Yes.
that bleeds into the playoff where you're going to be down, you're
Yep.
going to be going into your playoff game, and you're going to be you're going to be you're just going to get picked off.
Yes.
So Miami's lost a couple of late season games.
Yep.
They had their first game outside the state of Florida when SMU on November 1st and lost.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think whoever gets picked, there's obviously going to be people on the outside screaming that they've got screwed over. So just the same as Miami did last year. So
whoever of the three, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami, whoever gets X'd out, they're going to be screaming bloody murder.
Yep.
There will be demands for congressional investigations. There will be attorneys general of the state of Indiana, Alabama, or Florida investigating, threatening criminal charges. There will be crazy things that are said today in the next couple of hours by very important people. It happens every year. and those of us rational football fans, or those of us who don't have a dog in the fight, we will sit back, roll our eyes, and laugh. We do it every year.
Yes. Yep.
It is part of the tradition of college football.
I'm starting to learn that. I'm starting to learn that college football is just not a game. There's a whole lot. Once you look under those layers, it's like, dang, it's so much going on. So much.
Listen, for so much of us, it is life. It is a big part of our life.
Yep.
I've been a college football fan for 40 years. Or over 40 years. I love this sport. I love the traditions of it. I love the history of it.
Yeah.
I love the passion of the fan bases and the debates. I enjoy it every year.
Yes. Yeah.
And, it's what I've grown up with. It's what I've lived with my entire life. And I'm just used to it. You as a newcomer to it in your adult life, you're so used to, hey, all that matters is the record on the field.
That's exactly right.
That is all that matters. You win a championship by exclusively what happens on the field of play.
That's right.
In college athletics, it is not. There are humans who make these determinations of who gets access to the kingdom.
Yeah, the
kingdom of the title.
Could not get my head around that the first season. It's just like, what are you talking about? Why are people deciding who's in this game where, if you win, you win. That's it. Rugby in Australia, rugby league in Australia, if you win, you win. That's it. It's a round robin. If you beat all your opponents, you win the championship. Thanks for coming. This is like, oh, yeah, you won, but you didn't quite win as well as they did. So, no, you're out, even though you both win. It's like, okay, I don't understand that. But now I'm starting to get it. It's it's a little technical. It's a little involved, but it's that kind of behind the scenes guessing and, it's like, okay, what's going to happen? Who's going to be in? And it's things like this, having this podcast as well. It's like, okay, let's talk about it. Why are they in? Why are they not? And it's so much fun.
Yep.
It is so much fun. I can understand why people become obsessed.
So much of it is so much of it is subjective because there are so many different teams. There are countless possible schedule combinations. You can't, every comparison is apples to oranges.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
In college football.
Yeah.
Every team plays a different schedule.
Yeah.
every opponent is different. Every opponent is stronger, weaker, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of this is really subjective. And I said, a few minutes ago, my comparison to Notre Dame and Miami, a fair amount of my choice of Notre Dame above Miami is eye test. It's what I see. It's what I feel.
Yeah.
What does Notre Dame look like? What would Notre Dame look like if they play Oregon? What would Miami look like if they play Oregon?
Yes.
And I base my decision on what I've seen, those two teams do against other teams. Like, Notre Dame dominating a ranked USC team. Miami struggling against whatever teams they struggle with, or their loss to SMU.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU's an okay team, but they weren't ranked.
No.
And Miami not only struggled with them, they lost to them.
Yeah.
So a lot of this comes down to the eye test, the subjective eye test.
Yes.
And everybody's eye and everybody's brain is different. Even the members of that committee in that room at Gaylord, Texas this weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different set point.
And
on what their eyes tell them.
Yeah. As soon as you add that human element, all bets are off the table. It becomes down to opinions, as you said, and everybody's got one. And everybody looks at something a little bit different. And sometimes they get it right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I think most people think, maybe not. Maybe you should have went another way.
Even in the BCS era, when the computers, the computer rankings were a part of determining who the top two were.
Yeah.
The computer programs, they're written by humans.
Well, that's right.
Okay?
That's exactly right.
You've always got the human involved. Back in the pre-BCS days, when we had multiple polls handing out national championships that were recognized as national championships.
Yeah.
It was completely human that determined it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And, that was back in an era where we didn't necessarily get the best teams on the field at the end of a season playing for a title. Number one would play number 7 in the Orange Bowl. Number 2 would play number 5 in the Rose Bowl. Okay. Yeah. Well, if number 1 and number 2 both win, which happened many times, that settled nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's where we got wound up getting all those split national championships.
Yes, which is a weird situation.
So we are about to see the reveal.
To kick off here. That's right. Let's get into this.
Ready to go. So
let's have a look at what they're saying.
Number 1 team in the final college football playoff rankings. It is the Big Ten champion.
As expected,
Indiana. Of course.
For the first time in school
Indiana, the number 1 team in the nation. The only unbeaten in FBS.
That's it. That's
the
correct.
Second. The irony of the second most losingest program in FBS history. They are the only unbeaten and the number 1 team in the nation. Congratulations to the Big Ten champion Indiana Hoosiers.
Man, that was a good game. Fantastic.
It was.
Fantastic.
That was a grade 1 Big Ten rock fight.
Yep. Man, Mendoza gets absolutely smashed and then comes back and does what he does. Ohio State. Okay.
And
all right.
You nailed it. Ohio State, the number 2 seed. I'm totally with that. I get their logic. It makes perfect sense to me. I wouldn't have voted that way, but I'm not going to get upset about it.
No.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
Your only loss
Their
is
only
to
loss.
Yeah. Regular season, you go unbeaten, and your only loss is in the championship game. So,
To the number one team in the country.
yeah, yeah.
Makes perfect sense why Ohio State would only be dropped to number 2. I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to kill the committee for that.
Now we've
No.
talked about this quite a bit. Remember, this is different from last year, the first year of the 12.
And now we get set up here already. You see a potential national title game rematch of the Big Ten title game.
Yep. Yep.
And I would be perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, I would love to see a rematch. See what
Yeah, I would
Ohio
have,
would do different.
I was talking about
Yeah.
identity, and when it comes to identity,
Yeah.
no one knows who they are.
Got Georgia at number 3 as expected.
Yeah.
But the committee put Ohio State at number 2. Georgia, dominating performance yesterday in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Over
dominated.
Alabama.
Yep.
And they look strong going into the playoffs.
Yep.
Yep. Now, I don't think anybody wants to see this version of the Bulldogs.
So now you're looking at Texas Tech will be number 4.
Yeah.
Didn't work out well for them. Notre Dame beat them in the
Who absolutely beat up on BYU yesterday. Rematch of the earlier game in the season, and no difference in the score. They absolutely smashed them.
Yeah, the only difference was BYU actually jumped out to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, they actually.
And it was like Texas Tech took that as a blood insult.
Yeah.
It got ugly after that for BYU.
Yep.
So Tech's the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Now I am curious to see where they're going to put what bowl game they're going to go to. These 4 are going to go to.
Yeah.
Indiana. Indiana's going to go to the Rose Bowl.
Rose
That's
Bowl.
the
Yeah.
traditional
Yeah.
Big Ten tie-in.
Yeah.
We have David Baylor, Mello Hyde in the middle, Lee Hunter.
Ohio State is the 2 seed. I wonder if they go to the Orange Bowl.
Now, team that has a home game, seeded number 5.
Now we get into the
Oregon.
5 through 8.
Okay, so
Number
they put
5.
Oregon as number 5. Okay.
Yep.
Team will open in Eugene.
Nice. Nice to get a little home match.
Yep, a home playoff game in Eugene for Oregon.
Yep.
Against a group of 5
Group
team.
of 5 team,
Probably,
yeah.
we'll find out here in a few
Yeah.
minutes, but
I'm-
probably James Madison,
Yes.
unless something really weird is about to happen.
And I think this upcoming numbers, the first one where
So I would be putting Ole Miss maybe number 6.
all assuming that 11 and 12 are going to be G5 teams.
Yeah,
in
and,
their
you
conference.
know, or it's going to be a great crowd out in Eugene for that first round game, either the 19th or the 20th.
Yeah.
Last week, or will it be A&M?
We'll probably find out the TV schedule today
Yeah.
for the playoff.
Okay.
But that's going to be that's going to be an electric atmosphere. Number 6 revealed. It is Ole Miss.
All right, so they just had them flip-flop for my. I had them. Okay. Okay.
Yep. Which sets up a rematch in a quarterfinal with Georgia.
Yes.
Ole Miss wins their first round game in Oxford.
Yep.
They'll
meet
get a
up with,
quarterfinal with Georgia.
Georgia, yeah, that's right.
In Oxford, Mississippi.
Ooh.
So Ole Miss will have a home game, the biggest game in the history of
Ole Miss, yeah, that's going to be a massive game for them.
It will be.
Home game for
That'll
Ole
probably
Miss.
be against another group of 5 team.
Yeah.
Seeded 7.
Now the 7th
Texas,
seed.
Yeah.
Mike Elko's team.
Texas
lost
A&M.
the regular season finale at Texas, kept them out of the
I
SEC championship
personally
game.
think that's a little low.
Prize, home game,
For,
winner getting
Having
Ohio State.
A&M at 7.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I would have voted them 5. I put them 5 last week
Yeah.
after they
Yeah.
lost to Texas. But okay, 7, fine.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They went to Notre Dame and knocked off the Irish.
Because I still give them a lot of credit for their win over Notre Dame.
But
Yes.
still, A&M.
Be nice to see
It'll be a
ATM in an
difficult matchup.
Ohio State
And then the final
match.
team to
That'd be
get
nice.
a home game.
Yeah, that would be the setup for the quarterfinal. Number 8 seed is going to be Oklahoma.
Yep, okay.
Their defense is
No
tough,
surprise
and
there.
3 SEC home games.
So we're really not going to get a cold weather, a super cold weather
Game?
first round game
No.
like we did last year with
Yeah.
games in South Bend and in Columbus. The weather out in Eugene could be a little dicey. Norman, if we catch some bad luck in Oklahoma mid-December, which is possible, could have some nasty weather,
Yeah.
but probably not going to get the brutal cold
No.
that you would in the upper Midwest.
All right. This comes down to the pointy end of the stick.
Yep. Now we're about to find out who got screwed.
Yes. Yes.
Because we're about to select numbers 9 and 10.
Yeah.
These are the contestants.
Strength of
And there's
schedule.
3 teams.
In the SEC championship game and the much ballyhooed debate between Notre Dame.
Okay.
Now let's see if they go to let's see if they go to 12 and 11 first. Nope, they're going to go number 9.
Alabama.
And it's Alabama who didn't move.
We get a rematch.
Had Alabama sit on the
Okay.
bubble, they'll get a chance
Alabama.
to avenge that.
Possibly the game that broke Alabama.
Yes.
We're going to get the rematch. Third meeting in 2 seasons between Alabama and Oklahoma. Because remember, Alabama went to Oklahoma a year ago and got boat raced.
Yeah.
I think they clearly drew
They got
conclusions
thoroughly
about
dominated
Alabama
in
based
Norman
on
a year ago.
12-game sample size.
Couldn't get
Wow.
into the end zone.
Should be evaluated.
Okay.
When you take into account the teams they were being evaluated against had just 12 data points to evaluate.
Furious
So
in the
Alabama
chat is
back on track offensively,
Alabama fan. He's
desperate to get
already
healthy.
calling for the firing of Kalen DeBoer. I'm not surprised. After yesterday's performance, that was pretty ordinary.
Of not being,
It's going to be
So-
interesting to see what Alabama's going to bring to this Oklahoma game.
but if you're going to play them, they
So
need to
we've come
stay
full circle this season because
Yeah.
the season started with people starting GoFundMe's to pay for a buyout. We've gone full circle this
Full
year.
circle, that's right. Damn.
So we just cannot erase that. I'm surprised at this move right here.
All right, who's going to Notre Dame? Number 10?
Notre Dame or Miami?
If you go by power
All right.
rankings, Florida State's still top
I'm not real surprised that
Eager.
Alabama's in there. I'm not real surprised. This next one will be who's going to be shafted.
There's one spot left
But
in terms of it large
let's
teams.
are they going to go to number 10 or are they going to skip it and go to 11 and 12?
No.
No, they're going to 10.
Oh, Miami.
Without playing
Oh, they took Miami
on the final Saturday. Notre
at
Dame
number 10.
Wow.
the entire time. And now they flipped them, Joey.
Yeah, this is very strange to me. And again,
Wow.
if they hadn't compared these two
What
teams,
the hell is the state line? Where's the state? I'm still in Indiana. Get the hell out of
we had a
here.
ranking coming on Tuesday. If they were going to flip
Miami.
I am literally 70 miles east of South Bend right now.
I guess head-to-head, they did beat Notre Dame. Head-to-head, I guess that's what they're looking at, you know. Everything else is fairly similar.
That is the case for
That is-
Miami.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
The
going to have
head-to-head.
to
A
be.
lot of difference in terms of the
And you
Strength
look
of
at the
schedule is
that
very
numbers,
similar.
the resume comparison they're
Yeah.
showing.
Yeah.
The numbers are similar.
Yeah, very, very
No.
similar. And I guess it just comes down to head-to-head that early in the season, they got beat.
It's a beauty pageant. Now that the season is done,
Ooh.
it's a resume contest.
Yeah, Notre Dame has a very slight edge in all 4 of those metrics.
Yeah.
You know, the football power index,
Yeah, yeah.
game control, strength of schedule, strength of record. They're
was already complete.
very similar.
Today doesn't change their resume. It was complete when we had the ranking on Tuesday. And so if we're going to make sense of this, as we're trying
Miami,
to
that
watch it
that
play
win
out,
in week
it
1,
makes sense.
that was the tiebreaker, I guess, for the committee.
Yep. Yep.
The fact that they do this jump now on the final ranking, the final ranking.
There's one team between them and BYU that
Whoa.
moved back. Now, if they're right next to each other,
Oh my goodness.
back, we don't know that.
Okay.
But Greg, It's true, but the way they do it.
Or-
is a
Miami.
larger group.
Okay.
They should have already been compared. I don't differ with the decision.
Let me see.
But now nothing.
I just rolled the window down.
Makes prior to that.
Everybody's resume is now done.
Yeah, I do hear a little bit of screaming from 70 miles west here, very faintly,
And now we have
but I can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Like I did, and I think
Notre Dame got X'd out.
Might have been a 3-point margin. It felt like
What
more.
makes you think they didn't?
They did. I think
Ooh.
they probably
Yeah, so they probably
okay,
did.
Now this is obviously the
Yikes.
most hot topic among these three
okay.
teams. We'll have plenty of time for that, but there are
Miami
two
plays
teams
Texas
waiting.
A&M.
Hey, we've got two more
That's gonna
conference
be,
champions to get in. You have to have 5.
interesting
So
match.
the fourth highest ranked conference champion, number
Tulane.
11, is Tulane.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
now they're doing the 11 and 12. Tulane
Ooh, I
gets the
thought we
11
were going to
seed.
get
They will
Tulane.
play.
We're going to get James Madison.
They're going to go to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
Green Wave at the watch party in New Orleans, and there they are.
Yeah, now,
John Summerall before he heads off.
yeah, you're either going to get James Madison or you're going to get Duke.
Yeah. Oh, it's Tulane from New Orleans. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're New Orleans.
I did not know that. All right.
Yeah, they're
You mentioned the five-
yeah, they are officially the first Louisiana school to make the expanded playoff.
Duke lost
Damn,
by 17,
okay.
I think the first time. So just because it
Good
was
job.
about the first time doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a 5-touchdown.
Great barbecue,
John
great
Summerall's a good
football
coach.
team.
I think he'll have his team ready to
Fantastic.
play.
Okay, let's go to the last spot, the team that will go to Eugene to take on Oregon. And
James
it is,
Madison.
James
Okay.
Madison. So
James Madison will head to Eugene.
In there, and it's the ACC champion.
But then we have to
And-
play, if
and-
we get through, we have to play Texas Tech. Damn.
Yep.
And the streamers are flying at JMU.
Well,
Oh, that's
listen,
good.
don't sleep on James Madison.
No, that's the thing.
That is-
That's the thing, you know.
That is an up and coming program. James Madison just a few years ago, they were in the FCS. In
Wow.
fact, Kirk Signetti, Kirk Signetti did the transition from FCS to FBS
Yeah.
for James Madison before he got the Indiana job, and did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
2023 season, James Madison was. They were the story in college football.
Yes.
Going through the season, one loss in their first season in FBS.
Yeah.
Is BYU.
Okay.
There was talk, that year that's where kind of the rule changed, where first year FBS team could get into a bowl game if there weren't enough
Yeah,
bowl
okay.
eligible teams, because James Madison was so good that year.
Yeah.
Kirk, I've said I thought Notre Dame, if you just
And they just kept it rolling with, ever since Signetti left, they brought in a new coach who I think he's headed down somewhere else because he's done such a good job there. And they've just kept it rolling.
Let's have a listen to what they've got to say about this
between Miami and Alabama. I think
playoff
they got
here.
the nod. I think Miami and Notre Dame, I think the head-to-head that Joey's talking about, one of the things I think is interesting based on what we've always been trained is, and I know
I'm
Tuesday night
still
champions
shocked at
are
Miami getting
and it creates a lot of heartache and headache for a lot of people to understand, but they really don't feel that their rankings are true until they get all of the data in.
Yeah, just
And
listen to these comments here.
a second time convincingly, even though Miami didn't play, Notre Dame didn't play, that put BYU behind Miami. And now head-to-head matters because they're right next to each other. And even though they weren't on the field last week, it's hard to justify how can a team go by when neither team played. They would tell you in that room that we needed all the games played, all the games finished. And now we can see that Miami and Notre Dame were next to each other. And last week has nothing to do in their minds with this week and their final rankings. So it's not like the AP poll where every
Yeah,
single week we
I
follow
don't
and
get the
react to what
justification
happened. This is,
for
to me, a
doing the
mistake
jump
and
now.
misleading,
Yeah.
because of having these Tuesday night shows,
Because
having Miami so far away
honestly,
from Notre
nothing
Dame.
has
Easy to
changed
say,
in the
guys,
last several
well,
weeks
they should
between
have
Notre Dame
Miami
and
ahead of Notre
Miami.
Dame all along. Well, Miami had some two tough losses
Yeah.
in games they controlled against SMU and Louisville and gave them both away. There had to be some kind of reaction from the committee and a punishment from the committee, but Miami did what they needed to do. They kept climbing the ladder, getting close enough. They did their job on the field, and eventually, even though they didn't play, Notre Dame didn't play, the committee felt that with BYU's second loss to Texas Tech in convincing fashion, they should go beneath Miami. And again, that's where the head-to-head mattered, and that's why they ended up flipping.
I understand that with BYU.
Kirk, I'm going to talk to Hunter Yurachek about this.
Yeah, I think the BYU thing, them falling out from between those two, I think it's a red herring argument.
Put Miami in front. All I'm saying is that
it just looks better. They jumped Miami one spot instead of two.
Yeah,
it's still the same jump. BYU
is set up.
BYU wasn't going to be in that 11th slot regardless today.
Yeah.
Because had they won, they would have jumped up.
Yes.
Right. I think the fact of the matter is all three of those teams should have gotten in and deserve the right to play, in the college football playoff. And for years now, we have kept tweaking the criteria of how we select teams to be in the playoff, whether it was a 2-team BCS, whether it's a 4-team playoff, and now a 12-team playoff.
Yeah, this is probably going to be
you're going to have two.
This is what's going to get us to 16 next year.
Yeah.
That
what Saban is saying
highly as some other teams that are much better than them. And I think
is that
something that we can learn from this, because
Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami, all three deserve to be in.
Yeah.
Not to get
but
opportunity
somebody has to get X'd out because of the format. Instead of just going 1 to 12,
of trying to make sure we get the best 12
having that
playoff. And
having that
address this whole idea
having the requirement for
games,
the 5 highest-ranked conference champions be in the playoff, there's no guarantee that those conference champions are going to be among the top 12 teams in the country.
Yes.
But you still got to fit them in, and we had to fit 2 of them in this year.
Yep.
And
somebody else misses out.
I just don't.
And when you got to fit 2 in, you can't go the top 12. You got to go the top 10 plus 2. And 11 and 12 are going to be the ones to get screwed.
Had they played in the ACC
championship
game, since
honestly, I think that's going to be what gets us to the 16-team playoff next year. And honestly, they come next year.
Or they would have lost, and we wouldn't have had this controversy. Chris Fowler,
here's the dirty little secret.
We both covered this.
That wouldn't have changed anything for this year. If we had 16 teams this year,
the entire playoff era.
We're still taking 2 teams from below number 16, probably.
Yeah.
When you look at the final rankings. So guess what? Numbers 15 and 16 would have gotten screwed.
The choices the committee had to make. And Nick talks about
tweaks.
There was a tweak
so
after last
you were going to have
you
would have the same arguments.
I think going forward,
you would have the same complaints. They would just be in a different part of the country.
In the sport, think is a pretty good idea.
Yes.
Even Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the deepest conference, thinks that you can't have group of 5 conferences play and have it mean absolutely nothing.
The complaints would have probably come from
getting in the CFP.
Maybe Nashville,
until teams like Notre Dame and Texas, and
probably Austin.
Then people have a serious problem with it.
Because Vandy and Texas were probably right in that
mix
15-16 range.
I know they projected confidence. There was a lot
in the final rankings
on the part of Marcus Freeman and others because they
saw them last week,
and now in consecutive
and maybe
the argument would not go away. But the reason they haven't said this way is because the FBS has the group of 5 conference champions, as the group of 5 conferences. The smaller conferences.
Jeremiah Love, who could win the
they want at least
in New York on Saturday.
The illusion of a chance at playing for a national championship, at winning a national championship. Okay? And to get the playoff approved, to get the 14 playoff approved, to get the expanded 12-team and the expansion in the future, you're going to have to include those smaller conferences.
Like they said, you can't have these guys playing championship and not mean anything. So it's understandable.
Change as well because of these ramifications.
The group of 5 conferences, the Conference USA, the American, the MAC, the Sun Belt, the Mountain West, they're part of FBS.
Yeah.
They're part of this whole picture.
I think you have 10
in FBS football,
on one set
and
of criteria.
they
in this year's
need to feel like they have a seat at the table
two teams
and
that are
have a
getting in the
chance to
playoffs
win the title.
evaluated on a whole different set of criteria based on
they want
you know,
access.
5
They understand those
championships,
five
the
conferences
highest 5
understand
championships
that
getting in.
they
And I
don't
think some
have
kind
the
of way we've
finance.
gotta
They
bring
don't.
that to
They don't have
balance,
the power.
that we
They don't
shouldn't
have
be
the finances.
evaluating
They don't
teams in
get the
playoff with a
players
different set of
that
criteria,
the
which
big
is
Power Four schools
definitely the
do.
case the way it had to be
But
done
they're
this year,
still
the
a
way
part of
things
the
worked
group.
out.
They're still a part of the collective,
in many
and
respects aren't even really
deserve
conferences
at
anymore. They're sort of
least
scheduling,
a slight shot
conglomerates or
at getting a
associations as
title.
well.
Yes.
Kirk, as you've looked at this, had a few more
Yeah.
minutes to think
Because
about it, what else
last
are you
year
thinking
it
in terms of this
was
decision,
Boise
potentially
State who
having
got that
thresholds
spot.
for conference champions to get on
Okay,
bids?
Yeah.
What are
they
your
weren't
thoughts?
the fifth. They weren't the fifth
I
ranked
think,
conference
Chris and
champion.
Coach
They were
bring
actually
up
the
a
fourth
couple
ranked
really good points.
conference
You know,
champion last year.
Yeah.
JMU and Tulane
But
getting in. I
they
don't think
got their
anybody has
shot
a
at the
problem
big
with a
boys
group of 5
table.
teams getting
They
in.
got
I
into
do
the
think
tournament.
that it would be great if there was some kind of ceiling for them to have to,
And
some kind of
ultimately they
barometer for
lost
them to have to
their
get up
playoff
to be
game,
able to
but they got
qualify
into
to
the
get
tournament.
in. Because
James
you do, at the
Madison
end of the
and
day, what they
Tulane,
told us at the beginning
they're
was that
going to
we want the
get their
best 12
shots
teams
at the big
in
table,
this.
at the
I'm
big
not saying
boys
JMU
table,
and Tulane won't
at the
prove to
adult
maybe
table
be,
at this party.
some of the 12 teams, but we have
And
Notre Dame and Vandy and
you never know
Texas
what's
sitting
going to
at home
happen
and the
on
years
the
that they
day.
had and what they went through
Or,
this year. It'd be great if we had 16 teams.
They could
maybe
go
that's
on the
next
run of a
answer. Let's
lifetime
get this thing up to 16
for
teams and
4
see what we
games
can do. But,
and win a
I think
national
at the end of the
championship.
day, conference championships.
It's
you look at
unlikely, but
Alabama
they might.
And you look at Notre Dame,
And
having to play
they
that
just
extra
want the
game for
opportunity to
Alabama,
try.
The way that game was looking, 21-0. Which direction was this going to be?
Yeah, they're
an
already saying about
embarrassment for Alabama.
bulking
I don't
it
know.
up to,
Maybe that would have been different, but
16
playing
teams
in
as
that
well.
extra game, looking at what
But as you
Notre
said,
Dame
you know,
had
it's
been
just going to
through.
make it
I think they played 4
15 and
teams,
16
Power
is
4
going to be
teams with
out.
4-8 record or worse.
So
as they looked at them side by side,
going to be interesting to see what they're going to do for. They're already, as you said, you know, they're already tweaked it last year for this year.
Earlier.
So
Kirk, that's interesting.
they'll be
We
tweaking
brought
it a little bit until
Saturday,
I guess
if you
that
looked at the
balance is
paper,
there.
The data, the metrics, you probably favor.
Yeah,
Alabama
listen.
and
If we
Oklahoma
were
for that matter.
under
Maybe if you
last
got
year's
some tape, you
format,
leaned a little bit more to
Tulane would be the
Notre Dame
4
and
seed.
Miami in terms of the way they've looked in recent days.
If we were under last year's format.
Keep an eye on this.
Yes.
Of course, all these guys be heavily involved in the college football playoff once we start playing. But until we start playing, there's still some time to break all of this down.
Oh.
I think it's a really good
I'm still blown away by that, by the fact that they put Miami over Notre Dame.
Computer metric or something.
Yeah, I guess it. You know, that's the thing. You know, Notre Dame has been in that the hunt for it all season, and then obviously that swap right at the end.
But it seems like some type of threshold.
Right.
Probably.
You know, Nick
It does,
Saban was saying there, you know, the top 10 are
the group of 5.
getting
to your point earlier, Joy, we have teams on the sideline that
on one set of
absolutely could win a
rules, and then
championship right now.
the other
No
two
one.
teams are
No
getting
one in America,
completely
aside
different,
from JMU or Tulane, because JMU or Tulane
categorized
can
on
win a
different set of
championship
rules
this
as
year.
well.
Like, that's
So
the matter of fact. But
it's
they're in it because we had
interesting.
to
It's
include
definitely going to be
them
talking
based on the
points
parameters that we were given, and I think that's going to rub a lot of people the
until
wrong way.
I guess
don't
until
know what
next year,
those
until they see
thresholds
what they're
could
going to
be,
do for next year
but we're
as well.
trying to include teams.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
to see
whether
what
they
they're
go
gonna
to
do.
Out of this, when I
Yeah,
think
what
everyone
what
knows
tweaks
that,
come because
they're good,
I mean
but can they
everybody's
play good
negotiating
year
right
in,
now
year out?
about
I
what
don't
the
know if
format
that's
is going
the
to
case, and I
be
think
next
that's
year.
what's gonna rub
Yes.
In fact, they
Notre
just
Dame,
extended the
Texas, and
deadline
Vanderbilt, because
to
they
determine what the
absolutely got
format
to win
is.
it
So
this season.
I honestly
And I
think
don't think I have a
16
big
is
problem with
a
JMU
possibility for
getting
next
in
year.
as a lot of people will. Do we believe they could win it? Absolutely not. I think
And
they should
the
be
question's going to
included.
be, what
I
format
don't
do we
know what
have?
the fix
Yes.
is
Do
to
we
make
have
people
guaranteed
feel better
automatic
in a
qualifiers
season? And this is the
from,
first time we've seen this. The first time it's happened where
does-
two of them got
do
in.
the-
And
do the
so in
Power
this season,
Four
they
conferences
got in. I'm
get
happy
multiple
for
guaranteed
JMU.
bids?
I'm happy for Tulane, and I'm okay with that.
Do they go with the 5+11 model? You know, the five highest ranked conference champions, and then the next 11.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get knocked off right here.
No, right now we're in a 5+7 model.
Handle your business, and we're not
You know,
talking about
would
JMU
we
and
just
Tulane
go to a
again.
5+11? Well,
That's how it
5+11 is
is.
going to give us the
Well, you know, the thing is,
arguments
I do
lower
point
down the
out that
list.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about best
Yeah.
practice for the future.
No.
Under the current rules, I've got
the
zero
guaranteed
problem
multiple
with it.
bids
No
for the
problem
Power Four
whatsoever.
conferences?
The question becomes, is this best practice?
Well,
for the
that
conference championship?
that
Maybe
really
best practice.
screws that really screws the smaller conferences even more.
Yes.
scenarios for all these conference
Because if you're lucky,
if Miami right now
you might get one bid.
As a
if you're lucky.
Yes.
participant,
Right now they're guaranteed one bid.
We don't have this conversation. Notre Dame's in 2, and we don't have JMU, which to me I think would make some sense. That's what we got to fix first. We have bloated conferences. We have 18 teams in the Big Ten. It worked out this year in the Big Ten. The 2 best teams were playing in the conference championship game. Was that the case in the SEC? Maybe, maybe not. Was that the case in the ACC? Absolutely not.
They're talking about conferences right now. And with the size of these conferences,
start to rip up.
And the thing about the ACC is the one who's going to really have to look at themselves. Because I honestly think the ACC kind of screwed themselves with their tiebreaker.
Rank them accordingly, and
because the tiebreaker came out that Duke got that second spot.
Again, too. Congratulations.
That a 5-loss Duke team got that spot instead of a 2-loss Miami team.
My friend Herbie was waving his finger over there. Herbie, you wanted to add here right quick before
now
Eurocheck and look at a bracket.
The ACC got very lucky. And this may be something that
what the answer is. I think
this is going to get conspiracy theorists going.
Eventually, it gets up to 16.
But
is just
computers and the ACC got the benefit of Miami jumping because if Miami didn't jump Notre Dame, the ACC would have had nobody in the playoffs.
Nobody in that. It's funny how their conference champion is not even in the conversation.
If you're outside,
not even close.
Miami is in there. It's like, okay, what was the point of winning the conference then? It's definitely obviously not the better team.
We all just want the best team, and however we get.
The thing is, Duke was the better on the field last night. Just barely, but they were the better team.
Yeah.
And not worry about,
had Virginia won, Miami probably doesn't get in.
From this conference, whatever the rankings are, just spit
it out. That's what the conspiracy theorists are going to say.
The best teams.
That had Virginia won, they would have gotten the ACC. They would have gotten the bid as a conference champion, and the ACC would have been represented. Well, since Virginia lost, there's no way you can put Duke in. So we got to have an ACC school. So, but we're the independent.
So there's the bracket. Oregon's playing James Madison, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tulane, Ole Miss, Miami, and Texas A&M.
So I'm going to go out and walk up a little bit closer.
So December 20th, 19th, and Alabama and Oklahoma play on the 19th. And
that's the Friday. That's the Friday night game.
Will be Alabama and Oklahoma.
Alabama and Oklahoma.
Eastern time, the 8-9 matchup. Then the noon game on ESPN ABC and College Game Day scheduled here as well will be Miami and Texas A&M.
Early game on Saturday is Miami, Texas A&M. Tulane, Ole Miss is the middle game, and then James Madison will get the late game on Saturday, on the 20th.
December 20th. So that's how it
so that I'm sure will be a triple header day for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Here on the channel.
Ohio State. You see how the bracket goes.
Okay, so Orange Bowl is Texas Tech, Indiana obviously Rose Bowl.
Or quarterfinal matchups in the bowl games once we get there. We're joined by the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, Hunter Yurachek. Hunter, thank you for being with us. I've said
what were the other 2 bowl games?
I didn't quite see them.
In the 12-year history of the
I didn't catch them either.
4 teams or 12 teams. The obvious question is first. Moved Miami.
Interesting that
team played every
Ohio State's or Texas Tech. They get the Orange Bowl instead of the Cotton Bowl.
Let's have a listen to what he says. He's the head of the committee.
The debate I hear you guys have in my ear in the studio, I'm sure it's been debated over the last 12 hours, and that was the debate we had in our committee room into the early morning hours, and then again as the sun was coming up. And the first move in that was we felt like the way BYU performed in their championship game, a second loss to Texas Tech in a similar fashion, was worthy of Miami moving ahead of them in the rankings. And once we moved Miami ahead of BYU, then we had that side-by-side comparison that everybody had been hungering for with Notre Dame and Miami. And you look at those 2 teams on paper, and they're almost equal in their schedule strength, their common opponents, the results against their common opponents. But the one metric we had to fall back on, again, was the head-to-head. I charged the committee members to go back and watch that game again, the Miami-Notre Dame game, because it was so far back. And we got some interesting debate from our coaches on what that game looked like as we watched it. And with that in mind, we gave
Miami they actually went back and watched the game. Wow.
Into that 10 spot.
But, Hunter, the way you guys go about ranking teams, you don't just have them rank their best 25 and everybody adds it up and do the math. I mean, the head-to-head, these teams had, almost by mathematical definition, had to be in the same group to be evaluated prior to this. I don't have a problem with the outcome. I'm asking about the process. So you're telling me that head-to-head never really came up until they were ranked side by side? That seems to be different from the process of ordering and ranking the teams that you guys go through.
Reese, if you recall, Miami was a loser of 2 of 3.
Yeah, Reese seems rather incredulous.
They were in close proximity to Louisville at the time, who I believe was below them in 21st or 22nd spot. And we didn't use the head-to-head metric to compare Miami and Louisville. Louisville, a team who had beat Miami. But not until they really got in close proximity, side by side, with the move with BYU, were we able to evaluate just those two teams side by side. We always had someone between them, whether it was previously Alabama and BYU, and then just BYU in the last week.
Okay, but
8 places on the November 4th separated.
Because they've been, it is accurate
to
say
there was wide separation back in the first rank.
The group of teams,
I remember that. And Miami has slowly crept back up.
The same group for evaluation. Is that correct?
That is correct, Reese.
Okay, so why is it that they had to be ranked?
I'm almost tempted.
No one between them for the head-to-head.
I'm almost tempted to say, forget the committee. Give me back the computers.
We thought Notre Dame was better than BYU and deserved to be ranked higher than BYU. And we thought BYU deserved to be ranked higher than Miami, and that's
because I thought overall
the championship
BCS
game in the Big 12 and the way BYU performed
the BCS rankings did a good job of overall ranking, giving us a top 25. Okay,
of those teams, Miami.
I think a BCS system would work.
I know I've drilled down on this
for more than what the BCS era gave us. All right, because the BCS era gave us top 2. We're only determining a national championship game between number 1 and number 2. Well, we had years where there were 3 very strong unbeaten teams. Which one do you X out? With a bigger playoff field, like a 12 or a 16 team field, I honestly think a BCS model would work better
and Miami ended up being one of the
than this committee
at-large teams, and that's why they're in the playoff.
Because you're not necessarily going to get these out of left field
we're just talking process here. And so the same question about Alabama.
When
Alabama
neither team plays,
metrics, best resume,
yet one team is all of a sudden
they hadn't played well and they
better than the other team that they've been worse than all year. In the range.
It's almost like right at the end. They're much better.
What was the selection committee's perspective?
I think that's what he's saying. The anchor there about we're not questioning the outcome. We're just questioning the process. You had one way the whole year. Then all of a sudden you flip-flop and
we evaluated all of those conference
and automatically gotten in.
And felt like in the end, regardless of Alabama's performance,
and this is when it's just humans involved, you can get that out of left field turn.
Number 3, Georgia.
With the computers, we probably would have seen this coming.
The strength of schedule was the highest in the top 11. And we felt like
Miami would have been ahead of Notre Dame the entire time. Now, the old BCS model, it did take into account human factors. Okay, it did take into account the coaches poll and what was called the Harris Interactive Poll, which is what was replaced the AP poll in that computer formula when the AP said, no, we're not letting you use our rankings to determine your rankings, to be a part of your rankings.
Yeah.
So they had to come up, they had to they had
we
to
looked at that
devise a new poll
of teams,
to
that were there. All of them
so
did not
and the
play.
humans
we
did
see a
have
reason to move any
more
of,
of the say that the computers did,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
conference
100% of the
this
say.
weekend.
Yeah.
Hunter, we appreciate you. This has been a difficult thing. I
So,
appreciate you for standing in there and explaining the thought process of the committee.
If you go online, there's actually a place
a lot of times when you come to these decisions on the final
comes
day,
up with the rankings with the BCS rankings.
1 week, and
using the BCS model for current season. So I'm actually curious to see
what they would do.
That's
What's
fair,
the
Reese, and
rankings?
I just want to make sure
what they would have done
Saban
today.
realizes I answered all of your questions this morning.
Yeah, he gave you a little bit of a, what does he like to call them, a rear end chewings, I think, or something like that. But Hunter, thanks a lot.
See if I can find that online here.
Difficult job. We appreciate you spending time with us
I
as
guess
always.
they've kind of.
That is Hunter.
Okay, so Ohio State is going to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, and Georgia's going to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want in there now.
Okay.
I don't want in there.
Like I said, a little surprised that it makes sense because Ohio State should get should be the second choice.
Yeah.
Because they're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
They lost their conference tie-in with Indiana going to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. It's going to be amazing. You've got some terrific teams in here. You got some balanced teams.
Listen, whether they're going to Dallas or they're going to Miami, it's still a fairly long trip for Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
So I get it. Georgia going to the Sugar Bowl, that's a traditional SEC tie-in bowl.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. An impact as well. Arizona.
Kind of a little surprised that Tech's not getting the Cotton Bowl, though.
Yeah. Okay.
To Duke in the ACC title game.
Just a little bit surprised by it.
So they had Texas down as 13. So they were just outside
I'll
that.
be honest with you, I'm surprised Tulane didn't jump in front of Virginia with the way Virginia played against Duke. But congratulations again to Tulane getting in the playoff.
And so the rest of the rankings round out this way.
Georgia Tech, Iowa. James Madison obviously getting in, and North Texas got beat.
Pushing out
teams
in the field.
So 3 group of 5 teams ranked in the top 25. Who's not there? The ACC champion.
You can look at it. North Texas, another example.
And that's
Virginia
why they're not
dropped
in.
2 spots. BYU just dropped a spot.
Yeah.
Alabama stayed put. Ohio State swapped with Indiana. They didn't penalize teams that participated in conference championships and lost. That's a precedent that was set last year with SMU and will likely carry forward as long as we're in this current format.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
There aren't post-playoff rankings. The playoff takes care of itself now, so the committee's work is done. Coming up, we're college football playoff top 25.
All right.
The head coach of the #1.
Let's get off that for now. That was let me just do that. So some surprises there from wait, what happened to whoa? Did we drop out of
What happened?
Oh no. You're still here?
I'm here.
Oh, right.
I haven't gone anywhere.
Okay, that's weird. It told me I was kicked out of Discord, but we're here. We're here. So
I'm still here.
Some surprises, obviously. I guess when you look at their thinking, the committee, about why they've got Miami, comes down to that one head-to-head. But man, that's kind of like Saban was saying. You've got this one system for the whole season, and then you've changed it. And I think that's what the anchor was drilling down on that committee member there about, why are you doing it this way just now? So it was going to be a tough decision whichever way. If you put in Notre Dame, Miami would have been saying, why are you doing this? So, but I guess it comes down to that one match where, Miami beat Notre Dame right at the start of the season. Right. It's you're never going to please everybody, but there's going to be
Very true.
conversations about did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Do we need to change it? We had that discussion last year as well. They kind of tweaked it for this year. Again, I guess it needs a little bit more tweaking to kind of. Now it's probably going to be even more present because the leveling of the teams are actually coming in more. You can see it more. You know, you've got James Madison in now. You know, teams are getting better and better players because of this NIL as well. So this is going to be a conversation I think is going to go on for a few more years yet until they kind of tweak it, where they've got some kind of semblance of maybe 90% of people are happy. I don't know when that's going to come, but it's going to be interesting decision how they're going to go forward from here. So,
yeah, in all honesty, 95% of the people are happy.
Yes.
They're perfectly okay with this. And you know, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, Miami, the margin between Miami and Notre Dame is razor thin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could justify either team being in. It's just the 5% that are unhappy about it. They're really unhappy about it, and they're really loud about it.
Yes.
So we're going to have to listen to it. By the way, I found what I was looking for.
Okay.
The simulated BCS rankings. Okay. And you know, just as a reminder, you know, the actual playoff rankings: Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and James Madison. Okay,
that's the one that they had.
That's the actual playoff ranking. The simulated BCS ranking: 11 of the 12 are the same. The teams. Okay. There are slight tweaks in the seeding. Okay. The simulated BCS has Indiana 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Oregon at number 4.
Interesting.
Texas Tech 5.
Okay.
Ole Miss 6. Texas A&M 7. Oklahoma 8. Notre Dame 9. Alabama 10. James Madison 11. And Tulane at 12. So like I said, 11 of the 12 teams are the same. The seedings are slightly different. With how, you know, in the simulated BCS rankings.
I guess it comes down to why does the BCS have Notre Dame and not Miami? What was their reason?
I'd want to see that. I'd have to dive into the numbers and see what the computer rankings actually said, because I'm willing to bet that margin, and typically the BCS rankings would go out to 4 decimal places.
Oh,
in the mathematical formula. So we're talking razor thin. The formula they used, it is not a simple formula to explain in 5 minutes. Or in 2 minutes. It's you almost need a graduate level degree in mathematics. To really be able to understand the formula. It's you know,
I guess
based on points percentage and the poll in the human polls and you know, the average of your computer rankings, throwing out the highest and the lowest. And it's a very complicated mathematical formula. That, like I said, typically would go out to 4 decimal places. So the margins could get very, very narrow.
I guess if there's no clear way to say, look, this is the better team, they need to be in, and you're going down to, you know, the nitty gritty, basically, you know, of decimal places and how thin that is. I guess either team could have been in, and as you said, either team could have been justified. So,
that simulated BCS ranking. I'm okay with it. That simulated BCS bracket, I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. There's no outlier based on the playoff format and the bracket format there's no there's no massive outlier there.
Yes.
Texas didn't get in, for example, or Vandy didn't get in.
No.
Or, teams way down the list.
Yes.
Didn't get in. Okay, so I'm okay with that. With that. And like I said, I'm okay with what we wound up getting from the committee, except I question jumping Miami now. Instead of 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Why wasn't Miami above Notre Dame? If they had that head-to-head already in the bag, why weren't they ahead? Why use it now?
Exactly.
That's what they're saying. Why are you using it now when you've had it for, early in the season? Why is it just coming into play now? So I guess, as the committee said, once they become, head-to-head in the standings, then that becomes, the deciding factor. But you thought they would have decided that, all the way through. Notre Dame, has been in the list 9-10, 9-10, 9-10 the whole time. If I look through the standings that I've done, 9-10, 9-10 the whole time. And Miami's not been in any of them. It's just right at this last, very final ranking, and then all of a sudden, oh, no, we're going to put Miami in because they've been bad. It's like, well, why haven't you already? Why haven't you?
Because you've had that win, that Miami win over Notre Dame since week 1.
Exactly.
It's been there all year, literally.
Yep.
Okay.
It's
and Notre Dame really hasn't done anything to justify dropping them. They've won the games that they had scheduled.
Yeah.
They won them, most of them pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
They went to a ranked Pittsburgh team. All right. Pittsburgh was ranked.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh all the way to the end of the season, they were in the mix to play for the ACC championship. Okay. Yeah. Notre Dame went to Pittsburgh and absolutely handed them their ass on a silver platter.
Yes.
All right. They beat the holy living snot out of Pittsburgh. All right.
So
you can't justify dropping them after a game like that. And Pittsburgh was nationally ranked at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Miami has, let's be honest, they've been dominant the last handful of games, last couple of games this season.
Yeah.
Miami looked really good. But man, they had some games where they struggled. They had to fight scratch and claw in some of their games. They had some escapes.
Yes.
Okay. Notre Dame didn't have those escapes. And that's where I came back to my eye test thing, that I think Notre Dame, they passed the eye test better than Miami did.
Miami.
Okay? Because I'm watching a Notre Dame game, you didn't feel like Notre Dame was going to lose that game, lose the game that you were watching.
Yeah.
You had that feeling watching some of those even some of the late season Miami games.
Yes.
You had a feeling that Miami could very well lose this game against lesser competition.
Yeah.
And when they wound up winning, you're like, yeah, they kind of got lucky there.
Yes.
So that's the subjective part of it. And obviously my opinion is, my opinion means nothing because I'm not in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously anybody who held that opinion, that was the minority opinion in that room.
Yes. Yeah.
Down in Dallas. So, we got what we got. And, the Notre Dame fans, they're going to be screaming. The Notre Dame coaching staff probably going to be coming out and making terse comments regarding the committee. We may hear from the Indiana governor here in a little while, the Indiana attorney general announcing a grand jury is being impaneled to investigate the committee, and yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
Just get ready for it and sit back and laugh if you're a neutral.
Yeah.
Or if you're a Miami, or if you're a Miami fan, sit back and go, now you know how we feel.
Yeah, well, that's it. Miami was in Notre Dame shoes last year.
Or if you're a Florida State,
Yes.
Yeah, or if you're a Florida State fan, from 2 years ago who's still bitter, go say to those Notre Dame fans, we know the feeling.
Yeah.
Sucks, but too bad.
Yeah, there's not much you can do with it now. They're not going to change their mind now. So that's the rankings. It is what it is. So I guess Miami just needs to show that, yes, we deserve to be here. We're going to take it to people and hopefully make a game of it. So it's going to be very interesting. No real surprises. The top, 8 or so were kind of spot on. A little, flip flop with Ole Miss and Oregon and whatever else, but we kind of guessed what they were. But yes, Tulane and James Madison, it's going to be very interesting. We've got James Madison there at home for Oregon. So as you said, don't discount James Madison for sure. I don't think we would. I don't think we'd discount anybody. Hopefully, I think you'd be stupid to. They're in the playoffs because they're there, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out. We've got Army Navy next week. Go Navy, obviously. So which is going to be it's going to be weird. We've got one game next week. Where we've the last 2 weekends we've done 36 hours of footy. We've got one game next week, which is going to feel very weird. But we've got that one.
We've got lower division playoff games, and we'll mention them. We won't follow them too heavily, but we will definitely mention them.
Yes.
I am pulling up right now. I'm just curious to see if we have lines out for the playoff games.
We didn't. I just checked ESPN before. We didn't have anything out yet. They had the old rankings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no early lines that have been released for the 4 first round games yet. I was just looking at my betting app, and the only game they have is the Army Navy game next week. On the line. So I'm just curious to see. I would fully expect Oregon to be a big favorite.
Big favorite, but sometimes that can trip you up as well. Too.
I'm thinking probably 21 and a half. It's going to be a big number for Oregon.
Yeah.
Probably a similar number for Ole Miss. Those are the two that are playing the group of 5 teams.
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Alabama. Oklahoma's probably a touchdown favorite, although I'd be nervous given laying that many points.
Since considering they've already beat Alabama, and then obviously after Alabama's last performance, I would say maybe slightly hair ahead Oklahoma. So
Oklahoma may be a touchdown favorite, but like I said, I'd be nervous because Oklahoma's been every bit as schizophrenic as Alabama's been this year.
They certainly have. So,
and then A&M and Miami, that might be the best game of the 4. A&M and Miami.
Yeah.
And the irony of that game. Here's the irony of that game. Those are the 2 teams that beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. There you go. So, maybe there is some,
we get a little synchronicity there out of that one.
Maybe that is the reason. So, but that's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one to see. I probably put my money on Texas A&M for that one.
I would say A&M would probably be maybe 5.5, 6.5 point favorite. I'm just guessing on these lines. The group of 5 games, they're the Power 4 teams are going to be big favorites though in those, but the other 2 games be a little bit closer. So
it's going to be
regardless, we're going to be entertained, and hopefully we get some good playoff games.
Yes.
Some good early round playoff games this year, because let's be honest, most of the ones last year sucked.
Yes. The bowl games,
because
those bowl games last year weren't any better either. I think every single person that had a bye got thrashed last year. So,
they did,
which is not good at all. So, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if we have a repeat of the Big Ten championship game for the final as well too. So, my money would be
sign on for that
Indiana
right now.
Yeah, so
because if we get another Ohio State Indiana rock fight, it will be something to behold.
Yes,
especially for a national championship. Last night for the Big Ten title in a game that ultimately was honestly meaningless.
Yeah.
For in the grand scheme of things nationally. Now, obviously, that win last night for Indiana, that is a massive deal for the University of Indiana.
Oh yeah.
All right.
For sure.
First conference title in 58 years. First outright conference title in 80 years.
Yeah.
That's a big freaking deal in Bloomington, Indiana.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And they should be celebrating. Everybody should be waking up hungover this afternoon. They should not have gone to bed until after dawn.
Yeah.
down in Bloomington with the celebrations that they should have had last night, and they deserved every second of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Students should be showing up to class tomorrow morning hungover.
Yes, that's right.
That's how much they deserve to party this weekend. All right.
I tell you what, from the very first play when Mendoza got smashed, you think, oof, this might not work out too well for Indiana. But it must have rattled something because, man, he played like an absolute champion yesterday. Some of those throws, pinpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely put his hand up for the Heisman, if not secured it yesterday with that performance. Because I think the other top runners had a bit of a shaky day. Obviously, Sane was another one that was, and he had a horror of a day yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out as well too. So I don't think we've seen a final list for the Heisman yet. I don't think. I haven't seen anything.
I think they release that tomorrow. That we'll have the finalists tomorrow.
So we'll have that.
But Mendoza. Yeah, that play, that first play, when he took a shot, and it was a clean shot, but damn, it was intentional.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah, he dropped his shoulder. Exactly.
It was designed as a message-sending shot.
Yeah.
We are going to be in your grill all day. We are going to hit you every moment we can. And Mendoza's face down on the turf.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that every Indiana fan stopped breathing.
Yep.
Until he got up off the ground.
Because as soon as I saw him on the ground, I thought, "Oh, this is over already. This is over.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming."
Every Indiana fan would have been going, "There's our season's done.
Yep,
we're toast.
Yep.
We're finished." And then he got up. He went to the sideline for that one play. He's got to take off, and then he comes back out, and all of Indiana, all of Hoosier Nation can breathe again.
Yep. And funnily enough, his second string is actually his brother. So it's like, what? I didn't know that at all. It's like, oh my God, okay.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. And then he comes out, and it was like that might have been the worst thing Ohio State could have done.
Yeah,
was to give him that little
wake up.
Not illegal, but definitely unnecessary shot.
Yes.
I mean, that he might have been like, "Oh, really, bitch?
Yeah.
we go play this way. All right, let's play."
I went back and watched the highlights after the game yesterday, and I love the fact that Ohio's come out and they've tried to muscle Indiana, and they've just went, yeah, nah, that's not happening today.
Yeah.
And they've beat them at their own match, and then Ohio's gone, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to play. It's like once you shut down that defense about we're going to bully you, we're just going to run over you. It's like they've got nothing. I don't know.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio State typically has the players that they can play bully ball against anybody and be successful at it.
Yeah.
The difference is Indiana, a lot of teams aren't able to punch back.
Yeah.
Indiana punched back
at
Ohio State. And, like a lot of bullies, they can't quite handle getting punched back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, not to say Ohio State's not a good team, that they don't have a boatload of talent.
No, they're very
can
talented.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Them losing last night, there is every possibility Ohio State grabs a flamethrower and goes scorched earth and burns college football to the ground.
Yeah.
Goes out and wins all 4 of their playoff games by 50.
Yes.
Because they've absolutely got the talent to do it.
Yes. All season we've said, they've started slow. They've not really played anybody. Now they've got that slap in the face. It's like, okay, we've not been playing right. Let's do this like they did last year, and then obviously just brutalized everybody in that last half of the season, Oregon is included. So
last night was the first time they've been really challenged all season.
Yes,
and they really had not gotten punched in the mouth.
No. That's right.
They got the punch in the mouth last night, and now they're tasting the blood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that could be a wake-up call for a team. Like I said, Ohio State could very well grab a flamethrower and burn college football to the ground the next month.
Yeah, that's right.
And win their second straight national title. They've got the talent to do it.
Yep.
I can totally see Ohio State, Indiana on a collision course for Miami in mid-January, playing for a national championship. And if that game is anything like last night, sign me up. I want that.
Wow, that was a pretty stressful game. And I didn't even have a team in the game, but man, I really felt it. Really felt it.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I was totally into that game, while at the same time trying to keep an eye on Duke and Virginia because that was nuts. That was absolute simultaneous nuttiness.
Yes.
Both of those games.
Yeah.
What Virginia did last night. I mean, think about this. Virginia was a they weren't a massive favorite. They were like 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. I got money on both games last night, of course. And more money than I normally bet. Okay, I had $3 on the Indiana game. I had $3 on the Duke game.
Yeah.
And I had a $4.48 parlay, oddly specific number.
Yeah.
On both of them winning last night, on both Indiana and Duke winning last night. So I've got a vested interest in these games with my meager money.
Yeah.
On it. Okay. Yeah. So I'm keeping an eye on both games, and on the channel here describing both games. It's an odd feeling to be doing sort of play-by-play for 2 games simultaneously.
Yes.
I've really never done that before. Really odd. But Virginia, inside 2 minutes, they've got the ball at their own 4.
Oof, yeah. Great.
And they run a 96-yard drive to tie the game in the final 30 seconds. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was seconds away from hitting both my games, hitting my 6-1 underdog parlay, and I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, crap. Because I figured, okay, Virginia, they got to overtime. They're going to win it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, Duke gets the touchdown in overtime, first possession. And we had Oregon Penn State flashback. The first play from scrimmage of Virginia's overtime drive, he gets picked off.
Yep.
And out of the blue. And I'm like, oh my God.
I know. Come right down to the wire. It was such a great ending to that game.
Yeah. And to have both those games so close, so tight, so back and forth, Ohio State had a chance to tie it late in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They get into the red zone. They're deep in field goal range. They got a chip shot field goal to tie the game at 13.
Yep.
You figure, it's inside 30 yards. No problem.
Yep.
Dude, snap hooks it.
27 yards, not even close.
Yeah, 27-yarder. He looks like me on the tee box, getting an absolute snap hook into the woods, into the woods off the 14th fairway.
I know. It's just like it was a crazy game. Indiana put out some great defensive stops for Ohio, pulling them up short for the first down, and it's just like they're gonna win. Yep. They're gonna win. They've got so much in this. And they held out to the end, and it was just a fantastic game. Yeah. So and the way it used to be with Indiana. Let me assure you, with what Indiana was pre-Cignetti, that Indiana team folded. They might hang around for a little while. Be the little team that could that's punching way above their weight class. And Ohio State's like, oh, how cute. And you just kind of toys with them for a while. Okay. And then Ohio State gets serious and puts the hammer down in the fourth quarter. Okay. And you almost kind of got the feel that thought was just in there a little bit for Ohio State. And most of the time, Indiana or a team like Indiana pre-Cignetti would wilt under the pressure of the talent of Ohio State. Indiana's different now. I'm telling you, if you're not convinced that this is not your daddy's Indiana University Hoosiers football team, I don't know what to tell you. This is a different breed of cat now in Bloomington, Indiana. That is a team, that is a tough team, that is a talented team, and they did not wilt against Ohio State like so many Indiana teams of the past would have. And I am so impressed by Indiana. I am on the ride with Indiana all the way until this thing crashes. That's right.
Until this train crashes, I'm on it with Indiana. I am on the bandwagon.
I think they had a stat there on the game that Ohio had beaten Indiana 81 times in a row.
No, not 81. 81 times overall. 30 in a row.
30 in a row. I beg your pardon. Yeah. So that's I mean, 30 in a row is still a lot of games that you've gone there and you've come away with the loss. So to get up, to beat them, to become
Indiana's
number one
win.
in the nation as well too. So damn, that's
Indiana's last win before last night against Ohio State was 1988.
That's a long time ago. That is a long time. So.
That's. Listen, honestly, think about this. The three games that we followed strongly yesterday, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC. Three of the conference titles that were given out last night. Duke won their first conference title since '89. When they won the ACC title. Indiana first conference title since '67. First outright since the end of World War II. 1945. Texas Tech, their first outright conference title since 1955. And the conference they were in, it was not the Big 12. It was not even the Southwest Conference. It was called the Border Conference. And there were teams on that list I ain't never heard of. When I went back and did the research and saw the teams that played in the Border Conference in 1955, there were a couple I'd never heard of.
There's some definitely some school records getting broken on the weekend. I mean, you got to love to see it. You got to love to see it. So I think that is definitely bringing in that new era of more and more teams that you never see in the top 25 are going to start getting in there because they're going to have access to better players, which is fantastic for everybody. It's fantastic for the fans, fantastic for the programs as well too. So I can't wait to see how it shapes in the next 5 years or so, how college football is going to look. They just need to sort out the playoff and the end of the season, but during the season, it is fantastic to watch because any day on any time, anybody can win, which is what we're asking for. So,
we are now at the point where more teams entering the season can feel like they can win a national championship, and they're not getting laughed at by everybody else.
Yeah, or even we have suggested in the same conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the blue bloods are always going to feel like they can win a national title.
Yeah.
Every year. But now you've got new bloods coming in.
Yes.
Teams like Indiana and Texas Tech and Ole Miss, and I'm excited to see what Ole Miss can do post Kiffin because Ole Miss has been they've been a really good team. Even before Kiffin got there.
Yeah.
Kiffin brought them up to the next level. I'm excited to see if they can sustain. But you've got a lot of new bloods coming in.
Yes.
And we've discussed this before. The era of NIL and the transfer portal, it is bringing parity to college football.
Yeah.
The talent is not getting concentrated at the 8, 10, 12 blue blood biggest schools.
Yeah.
It's getting spread out.
Yes.
Because every game's on television now. You're not going to be hidden. You're not going to be. You're going to get plenty of exposure if you've got the talent and you're putting up the numbers. The scouts at the next level are going to know it, and they're going to be able to see what you can do because every game, every play is televised.
Yes.
Now it's not like it was 30, 40 years ago, where players never get seen, and they may have all the talent in the world, but they're not getting seen, so they can't get to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so you can play at a lesser school, and still come up
and
still be considered good enough.
Exactly.
To get to the NFL.
Yeah. But the other side of that coin is, yes, everybody's starting to level out a little bit, but now you're going to get more of what we got this year where you're getting, group of fives in, you've got all of these teams that are breaking into the top 25 rankings where they wouldn't have been there before. So now it's going to get more complicated about who you put in, who you're going to leave out. Exactly the same situation we've got this year as well. So it's going to have to be some tweaking where it kind of feels like it's going to be fair for everybody as much as it can be. So
and
it's
when
going
you
to be interesting.
Remember, let's remember that the playoff format that we have 136 FBS teams. We're taking less than 10% into the playoff tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you compare that to our professional sports, all right, our big four professional sports, half of those leagues get into the playoffs every year. All right.
But when you've only got 32
maybe
teams,
slightly more.
Yeah, it makes it slightly easier to play around with. Too,
so I mean, if we were going to have a professional level model for FBS, we'd have to have an NCAA basketball tournament. Literally an NCAA basketball tournament. We'd have to have 68 teams.
Oh.
Out of 136, half of the field. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we would stomach that.
How long would the playoff season be? That'd be almost a whole season again.
Let's cut it down to 64, the old school NCAA tournament, 64 teams. That's 6 rounds. That's 6 weeks.
Oof.
Okay, because you're only playing one game a week.
Yeah, where the hell would you fit it? I don't know where
you'd wind up with
March?
Under the current calendar. You'd wind up with the current calendar. If you wanted to go with the current calendar,
yeah.
You'd wind up with. You could almost wind up back to back a Saturday night national championship game and a Sunday Super Bowl.
Ooh. I mean, for the fans, that's not too bad. You got college football, and then you've got NFL. I mean, it's a lot of footy, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know if our media companies would like it.
No.
I don't know how much the NFL would like having college football poaching on their patch.
Yeah, kind of
in early February,
taking away some of their shine. I don't know.
Yeah.
How.
So. But seriously, that is what you'd have to have to have the college football playoff look similar to what we're used to with our pro sports. And to go to 64, well, that comes with a downside. You're going to have a whole lot of 7 and 5 teams in the playoff.
Yeah, that's that.
And do you really want 7 and 5 teams playing for a national championship? I mean, I kind of sort of like having it where only about the top less than 10% get in, because for the most part, you're getting elites.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're getting the best of the best in that season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. James Madison and Tulane, they got really nice records.
Yeah.
But who have they played?
Yeah.
That's the counter argument to having the group of 5 in.
Yeah.
Listen, JMU and Tulane are 12-1.
Yeah.
Let them put that record on the field against the Blue Bloods, see what they can do.
Exactly.
If they get their asses kicked, they get their asses kicked. It happens.
But imagine that experience they're going to get as a program and as a school, saying, "Oh, look, we're playing Alabama next, or we're playing, Texas A&M or whatever."
Yeah.
Imagine the hype that's going to do for that program. So
at the height of the Saban era, back last decade, back 10 years ago, I remember seeing so many group of 5 games, seeing them on TV, and you'd see signs in the stands saying, "We want Bama," and we're talking teams like App State or Marshall or teams definitely that are solidly in the group of 5. Their fans with signs going, "We want Bama," after they won a big game. Well, guess what? Now you're getting the equivalent of this decade's Bama.
Yeah.
JMU, you want to go against a big boy? Guess what?
Yeah.
Go out to Eugene and take them on.
Yeah.
On December 20th. 13 days from now, JMU, you're going to get your chance against one of the best teams in the country in Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
Go out and do your damnedest. Good luck to you.
But you can see that this is going to have a knock-on effect for, maybe not next year, maybe the year after, where James Madison can say, "Hey, look, a couple of years ago we made the playoffs. We're going to make it again. We've got a solid program. Come and join us." And that's going to bulk their program up as well, not just the NIL. So I like it.
This is a recruiting tool. This is a recruiting tool.
Yep, exactly.
Not just for recruiting incoming freshmen.
Yep.
But the transfer portal.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting to see when that opens up. Who's going to move around? Who's going to go where? So
if you're a talented 4 or 5 star, the guy was a 4 or 5 star recruit.
Yep.
And you wound up going to a big school, a big blue blood, and you're buried on the depth chart somewhere at a Michigan or an Ohio State or a Penn State, and you aren't getting playing time, and you're like, why am I wasting my time here?
Yes.
And you jump in the portal, and James Madison shoots you an email saying, "Hey, we like your tape. We like what you looked like in high school.
Yep.
Come over here. Oh, by the way, we're about to go out to Eugene to play a playoff game.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a recruiting tool.
That's right. Come watch us at Ohio at Oregon.
Ooh, if I go here,
yep.
I can get playing time.
Yep.
And maybe get to play in a playoff and show this school I'm stuck at right now. Hey, you had your chance with me.
Yep. Yep.
You know, get that kid with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
wanting to prove something to the coaching staff that didn't believe in him.
Yeah. I think
absolutely
that way the college football is going, that's going to be beneficial for everybody, you know, in the long run. I can't wait to see how it's going to develop and what teams are going to, you know, capitalize on that and how it's going to look. So, man, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for what's going to come next year and the next following years as well too. So, but before we do all of that next year, we've still got these playoff games to get through, which are going to be fantastic. Fantastic. So next week, Army versus Navy will obviously be here for that. We will have obviously rundowns of the scores of other games going on, but that will be our main focus for YouTube as well too. So definitely looking forward to that. I don't know if you've got anything else to kind of round off our podcast here for today. I think we kind of touched on everything. And I can't wait. Kind of just a little housekeeping thing here at the end. No, we won't do 50-yard line Tuesday night because we just be repeating ourselves from what happened, what we talked about today. Next week, post Army Navy, post Heisman Trophy, we'll do a Tuesday night show a week from this Tuesday, so 9 days from now. On what is that? The 17th, 16th, 17th, 16th of December. Yeah, it'll be the 16th of December. We'll do a 50-yard line. We will preview the playoffs. Yes, we'll run down games coming up and everything else. Yeah,
we'll run down the first round games. Maybe project out a little further. Just depends on where the discussion goes. But we will definitely preview those 4 first-round playoff games a week from Tuesday night on this podcast. And then, of course, next weekend, week from Saturday, a week from Friday, first-round playoff game, Alabama, Oklahoma on a Friday night.
Yes, which will be very exciting. This can't wait to see. Can't wait to watch it. See if Alabama gets some revenge on Oklahoma. So they always say it's hard to beat a team twice. We'll find out. We'll find out from Oklahoma.
Yes, we will.
Which Oklahoma turns up for the day. So see which Alabama turns up for the day as well. So
right, both teams they're so similar. They're both at their best. They're very good.
Yes,
but they both got fatal flaws in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a way that every team looks like they have a fatal flaw. Except maybe Indiana. We really haven't seen Indiana have a fatal flaw because they've only had that one escape. Against Penn State. Which I still don't know how that game got to that point.
I don't
needed to escape because
I don't know.
They led that game. They led that game for a long time. And let it get away.
Yes. But I mean, they got through in the end. But that was a lucky escape for them against Penn State.
They survived it. So But we'll be back doing that. We'll be back doing this podcast a week from Tuesday. After Army Navy.
So, Chris, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. I know a lot of information to go through today, getting that new bracket for the playoffs and everything. A lot of footy still to come. We've got a few weeks left in this season. So, Chris, thank you very much for being here. Drive safe wherever you're driving to. Make sure you get there safely. We'll come back again at the weekend. We got Army Navy this week, and then obviously we'll preview what's coming up for our first week of playoff matches. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back again next week. Stay safe, and we'll definitely see you back here for our next playoff game, guys. We'll see you then.